Well, hello, everybody. And guess what? It's Tuesday, so y'all know what it is. It's another episode of Tuesday Talks with Tiffany, and she is here. So let's just get right on into it because this is a good topic this week. It was requested, and so I had to do a little research on it, ask a few people, their opinions and different things. And I have, of course, my own opinion. And I came up with the final response. So let's just get into it. So, this requested topic, I feel like it could be a touchy subject. So, all opinions are open and welcome. Okay. So, the requested topic came in underneath the subject of uncomfortable conversations and when is a good time to have them with your children. So I'm going to start off by saying I'm coming from the perspective when it comes to children. I mean, like teenage children. So we ain't talking about like 2 and 5 and 9 and 11. We're really talking about like 13 and up. And up into 17 and different stuff like that. So teenage children. But when is a good time to have uncomfortable conversations with your children? And I thought about a plethora of conversations, whether it's having the sex talk, having talks of the reasoning why you can't go over to cousin so and so house or friend so and so house. Things that you know inside of yourself as a parent that you want to protect and keep your children from. So I'm coming off of that perspective. There's a lot of different scenarios that can fall into this, whether you've been in abusive relationships, whether, like I said, it's been, physical abuse, sexual abuse, just things that as parents we went through that we shield and try to protect our kids from. But these kids be sometimes knowing things, and sometimes they will come to us and ask us, like, hey, mom, or hey, dad, have you ever been through that? And it's like, whoa, they catch you off guard. And you're like, do I talk to you about this now, or do I wait? And here is my opinion on touchy subject matters. There may be matters of family members, people that people look up to. It could be the opposite parent. It could be an uncle, cousin, auntie, grandparent, or whatever. And sometimes I feel like, especially in our Black community, that a lot of things are kind of like pushed to the side, like, I'm not going to tell you about that. What happens in this family stays in this family. What happens in this house stays in this house. I don't need to open up them wounds. No, 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 no. And I feel like that's the reason why people are sometimes the way that they are today, because things were shh. I don't need to tell you why you don't need to sit on Uncle such and such lap, or there's a reason and why you can't go over to your friends' them house, in those ways. Now, as younger kids, of course, but when you get when these children get older and they start asking, it's time for you to sit down and have a conversation with them. Now, number one, I feel you should know your child. If your child has the maturity level that they will understand what you are saying to them, especially in a serious conversation, have the respect enough to sit and have a conversation with them on the level that they're on. Sometimes you don't have to go into details, but sometimes you do have to let them know, like, hey, here's some situations that has happened, or here's some things that as your mom or as your dad, I feel that this is what it is. So I'm going to need you not trust in me. But if you have some older children, and I don't want to go boy against girl and say girls are a little bit more mature than boys, but sometimes, I raised the boy. So it's like, at 13 when I had the sex talk with him because I knew it was coming through school, and I knew what the boys on the courtyard was gonna say and different stuff. And he was in sports, so I knew, when I had that conversation with him, he laughed. But I had to turn around and have that conversation again with him at a older date, in an older age with him, because now you're in a spot where you can listen. But if their maturity level is there, talk to them then. Sometimes, like I said, you can't give them the specifics of things that have happened, especially you don't want to give them all the deets and the details. But with so much stuff open today, so much research that we can do, I'm an 80s baby. And we didn't have all of this stuff. We didn't have YouTube and Google and all these things that we could go back on and look at things and look at videos and all these TV shows that show these things that are happening. And sometimes they don't know that, hey, mom, hey, dad, I've been through that. Sometimes they need to know, not only for educational purposes, but to understand why we're protecting you from certain things. But having that I'm going to keep this silent and I'm going to keep this. This is why majority of the 60s and the 70s and the 80s generations are sometimes messed up, because mama, daddy, sister, cousin, brother kept stuff silent. So yeah, sometimes you need to know, yeah, your daddy abused me. Yeah, sometimes you need to know, yeah, I was in that type of situation, but guess what? I got out because I don't want you to go through the same situation. I ain't got to tell you everything of what happened, but I don't want to say nothing, because then that's going to make it look like I'm coming down on my brother, or I'm coming down on my sister, or my auntie, or your daddy, or your mama, or something like that. No, tell them that mama was a crackhead. I'm being serious, because of the simple fact, no matter what, there's learning lessons through that. There's healing through that. There's situations through that. You think these kids don't know that when you walk into a room, they can feel tension in there? That's just my opinion. Now, some people may not agree with me with that, but I do feel that things do need to be discussed. And if they are of a mature age and a mature level, talk to them, let them know, meet them in the middle. But also to consult with God. I mean, I am, a Christian, spiritual person. And sometimes you have to consult and say, Lord, give me the words to say so that I don't say the wrong thing, but that they hear me. Because other than that, them generational curses are still going back and forth and back and forth. And if you really are in a spot where you're like, I want to break that, sometimes breaking is caused by talking. And have that dialect that gives you and your child a chance to have some type of personal time, but also trust within each other. Mom, I can trust and come to you and talk to you about these things, because y'all already know teenagers don't like to talk. Whether it's a female or whether it's a male, they do not like to come and talk, especially them boys. But some of the time they get that sense of, okay, I can come and talk to my mom, I can come and talk to my dad, because they did have that serious conversation with me, because they know. Sometimes it's whispered through the friends, sometimes it's whispered through the families, but they know. And if you know your child, sit down and have a conversation with them. Talk to them. Take a drive. Go to the beach. It's getting hot. Go to the beach. Go walk. Sometimes kids calm down a lot when they're walking, when they're doing other things that is just not in a sit down like you a counselor situation. Sometimes you got to meet them in the middle. So that is my answer to that question. And let me know y'all's. I really want to know, because this is a little touchy situation, but I feel like generational curses will be broken once things are talked about. So, until next Tuesday, y'all have a good week. Happy Juneteenth tomorrow, and I will see y'all next Tuesday. Bye.